Welcome to Profiletraders. This is Reza and thank you for listening to my market analysis for Wednesday 26th. Before I go into the details of showing you what's going on a shorter term basis, let's go a little bit and look at the daily. If I recall, in a few reports ago, I showed you this chart and I told you that as we are retesting this high up here, we were having a very strong declining in volume as a clear indication that this rise for a retest of the top was nothing but a very shrewd move to bring it up in order to sell as much as they could at the best price possible. Now that they are done with that operation, market is on a free fall because they have no more need to support the market up in order to sell it into the public. Obviously, as you can see, we are now on a retest of a major trend line. If this trend line is about to break, there is a very brutal drop all the way down to 2000 minimum. There are several things that are taking place simultaneously, which are all equally chaotic. Number one, you had a very brutal and very nasty devaluation of almost every single currency against the US dollar. The US dollar rallied totally on an unexpected manner, which starting now to pinch greatly the big exporting corporations because the product has risen in value dramatically abroad in exchange of a very strong dollar. So that is starting to reflect itself in earnings moving forward, and market is adjusting on that. Number two, everybody after the last ridiculous comic statement of the Federal Reserve, which basically was nothing but indication of confusion and a complete total lack of control regarding of what's going on in multiple facets, market is no longer believing that these guys have any credibility. And if not anything, they are believing that they are in a total loss of control on what's going on. As a result, there is now total lack of believing what the Federal Reserve is going to do next. Are they going to hike rates? Are they going to leave it? The messages are all over the place, and each Fed guy says something totally different than the other. Three, you had a crush into the 30 years US bonds. Somebody is dumping US bonds and US stocks at the same time, which is making me believe that the big money is dumping US denominated assets and are taking the money back home. That has forced interest rates on the 30 years to go up, which of course makes the cost of borrowing higher, and therefore every growth that is financed from borrowing will be slowed down. Fourth, China economy is continuing to spiral down, and there are massive problems ahead of them. The situation with Russia is deteriorating as Putin is doing whatever pleases him, and there is nobody to stop him. Then you have the situation in the Middle East, where country after country is falling under the control of Iran, and in here we are only preoccupied by giving them a deal and pretty much pleasing them. You take all these things combined together, you are dealing with a very, very volatile, unpredictable situation, and it is starting to reflect itself into the markets now. So I wanted to clarify these few things so that you know exactly what's going on and what's pressuring these markets. So today was nothing of a surprise. You were given the breaking point from 2 nights ago, and I said very clearly, be very careful. If we do break below this 2092-ish, we are going to come down, hit this POC, which we did. And then after that, after a brief pause into the overnight, there was a push to the upside attempt, and then totally failed. And then there was some life of support coming in, but then again it fell further down into a completely collapsing, crashing, trending day to the downside. So you are clearly now in a very, very bearish mode in ES, very bearish, with the close at the very low of the range is pretty catastrophic. So now one should be on a lookout to sell only. First significant level of support will come from 67 to 71, the two lines up there. And whenever you get this kind of very long, severe push to the downside, you also must be prepared that the retracements can be quite dynamic on the upside as well. So don't be too much on a rush to sell very close to the low, because if you get a good retracement, then you're going to be under the water. So that area up there, the 70-ish level, to me it's a very attractive resistance. If by any chance today was just a one-time event and Mrs. Yellen and his program buy kicks in tomorrow and wants to reverse the market, the very first significant level that they must break is the 71. If they can break this, then they're gonna probably go delete all these singles up here and take us up towards 2080 level. On the downside, only God knows. I cannot tell you where it's gonna stop, where it's gonna go. All I know is that today was a serious outflow of capital out of the money with a very, very bearish close. If I have to rest myself on a bigger time frame chart, I would say that there is really nothing coming in terms of support before 2030. So we are now very close to 2050, which of course is a round number to consider, but if we do break this 2050 and there is no hesitation on the breakdown, 2030 is the only significant support before that. So finally, people are coming to a reality that this orgy of sins, feast, greed wasn't sustainable to go on forever. And as I told you many times, once it's gonna tumble down, it is gonna tumble down 3 times faster than it goes up. So one must be very careful here. As for crude, we went up and did hit a POC that was targeted up there, and this was done after a very bullish consolidation up here. And my view of crude has not changed. We are now entering a phase where price is going to be all influenced by geopolitical events in the Middle East. And as the Middle East situation is deteriorating by the hours, and anything unexpected could happen at any given time, since it's such a crazy area of the world, price will be massively influenced by outside events. So can go both ways aggressively. My strategy is you do not hang into anything for too long. If you get paid a good lump sum, you take it, you thank God, and you move on. Because the reversals are extremely brutal, and oftentimes they are V-shaped where they are entirely retraced. In terms of support right now, we should be targeting 48.5. As long as we remain above 48.5, This could definitely, on a bad news for Middle East, spike up towards 50. 50 will become a very important threshold round number to be very much so monitored as resistance right now. But if we pierce through it, obviously there will be a lot of short stops resting above 50. So that break over 50 should at least hit few stops and create some kind of a jitter to the upside. And support 48.5. If we do break 48.5, there are two POCs down here as a target, 48.25 and then 46.90. As for gold, it's holding its ground. It stops right around 1200, which is normal. I told you before 1200 was gonna be resistance, but extremely bullish hold. It did not give in any ground below the low of the open. We did hold above the open, even though the buyer was a bit tired. It's normal. We came out a very magnificent distance from where we were a few days ago. But I am extremely bullish on gold, extremely bullish on gold. So if there is a drop now towards 1185 to 1180, this to me is a very nice support buy zone. When I say support buy zone, it doesn't mean that I put a gun in your head to go buy anything. I'm just expressing an opinion, of course. As for the upside, we shall see. First, show me that you can break that POC up there at 1202, and then show me how you're breaking it, and then I will be able to tell you what kind of an upside I should expect. But for now, if I get a little bit of a pullback after such an extended tired move, I would not be surprised, and it would be nothing bearish at all. It would be just the market breathing in order to jump hopefully higher. Again, this was Reza. If you wish to join my trading room, get all my courses, you can get it from my website. It's $550 with 1 year trading room subscription, and it's money back guaranteed 30 days. Take a look at it if you're interested. www.profiletraders.com